People always ask me, how do I get better? What's the hidden thing? Is it a pen? Is it the pencil, the paper? It's what book do I need to buy? What advice do you need to get? I said, you know what you need to do? 100%. The only thing you have to worry about, draw. This cover was done in a 24-hour period. It was done one of my best covers because I didn't have time to really think about how to mess it up. I just kind of went and did it. So it's Superman, it's Doomsday in his new incarnation with all his bones and blood and guts and all that stuff, chewing on Superman's cape with his fingers tearing through the cape. It's probably one of the strongest images that came out that summer, and to this day, it's the drawing that I do the most. Every time someone asks me to do a Superman, it's always either Doomsday or Doomsday and then Superman and then back to Doomsday. So this is one of my favorite things. I think I spent more time drawing the forehead bones than I spent on the whole entire cover. This is probably the most rewarding cover I've ever done in the business because it was a chance for me to draw Black Panther. Black Panther was the first comic book my mom ever bought me. It was the first superhero that I really identified with. I don't think she read it before she gave it to me. She just gave it to me as a gift. I know you like this beautifully drawn book. And it was Black Panther versus the KKK. I devoured that book and some of the classic Black Panther stories. But I remember thinking, I think I want to draw comics. I just started drawing all the time. I was that kid, always paper and pencil in my hand, always doing something, always drawing. This is full of chaos. I like a lot of stuff around me that's always, it keeps me stimulated, it keeps me alert, keeps me wanting to be creative stuff. I used to buy this magazine when I was first learning digital, or trying to be a digital artist. And I used to buy this magazine all the time. And so someday, look through it, all the tutorials in here, learning how to do things. And when they contacted me about doing a cover for it, it was like a full circle thing for me. I went from, 2 years ago, a few years ago, not being a very confident digital artist to now drawing the cover of the magazine that I used to buy all the time. That's like one of the coolest things of all time. I was probably the guy, I'm never going to use digital tools. I'm just not going to do it. I'm too old to learn it. I don't want to learn it. I'm good in paper. I'm awesome with paper and pencil. Well, relatively awesome with all that stuff. And then you reach a point in your life where you realize, I want to grow. I want to grow. Sketchbook was by far the easiest. It was by far the most intuitive. It was just like drawing on paper. It's almost like I think I'm doing it wrong because it was almost too easy to use. The best things sometimes in life are sort of things that happen spontaneously. And so that's when I'm drawing. That's kind of the things I like to do. Is just sort of like, and I'm also learning something, right? I'm learning how it works. I'm learning, okay, I use this later on for something else. Or you don't get better as you draw. You get better in between drawings. So you draw something, it doesn't quite work out. You think, how can I get better? You go back to the table, you're better. You do a rough. Okay, it's gonna be maybe we'll do like, okay, its arm is. We'll do something like that. And I think that what makes when I try to do it, I make a twist. So although you don't see it right now, but this is like, here's the front of his face, right? Or her face. And then you could do whatever it is you're trying to do. Like say it's got cannons or whatever, and like whatever. So what you're doing is you're building the forms, right? I think the most rewarding part of it is that I get to do it every day. The fact that I'm a professional and that I can make money doing this and take care of my family and travel the world because I can draw, it's pretty amazing. So you lower the opacity and then you go right over top and then you add the things that make this one unique. So we'll do like, over the eyes, maybe it's got some tattoos or whatever, and maybe it's got, he's got gauntlets, and then this is where the design part comes in. So then I start doing all the little finer details that'll make this design unique. So maybe I'll go, okay, this character will have If you have trouble drawing hands, draw hands all the time. You have trouble drawing faces, draw faces all the time. And I think that's the biggest problem we have. We're afraid of the things we don't do well, so we just exclude them. No, attack them. I am not a techie. I'm not that guy that's gonna have. I'm not that guy, right? So, if I can use it and be proficient with it, I would say most people who have a pulse can do it too. Maybe you love Spiderman, you like Superman, but you love Lex Luthor more. Lex Luthor is more juicy to draw. He does crazy things. You love, Venom. You love all the bad guys have all the juicy parts. So this is the heroic lighting. His face is in the light. Everything else is dark. Around him, the background, but he's looking to the light side of himself, which is heroic in a way, even though it's subconscious, but it's how you think. Now, if I were to say, okay, I'm going to make this. I'm going to turn this off and just make it back to normal. And I were to turn on, say I were to turn this on. Now that's darker. And all I've done is I've shaded the front of his face. Because once you shade the front of a character's face and there's light around it, there's something to hide. So that character, I would say, is more evil than the first one, even though it's the same drawing. It's just the lighting. And that's the difference between concept work for this and concept work that. You have to understand all the things that you're working on. So that's how I do things. Before, this would just take me longer, and time is money. I could do twice the volume of work, and also it's digital. So it's the moment it's done. I mean, it's usable. I can send this. I don't have to scan it. I don't have to resize it. I don't have to. Hopefully, my scanner's working. The program is. It's done. Like at this point, it's digital. So I could stop it right now. I could save this, and I could send it to any client in the world, and it's done. I always work light to dark because my brain, I could see more. And also I changed my mind. Like I'm gonna change my mind here on this drawing in maybe about 15 times before I get to the end. I cut my teeth early. I worked at Ontario Place and I did caricatures at Ontario Place. After that experience that summer, I could draw in front of anybody, doing anything, it doesn't matter. I enjoy the drawing live in front of people because it's like a magic. It's almost like it's like a real thing for them. Instead of you coming to your studio and you show up with this beautiful piece of artwork, they have no idea how you did that. But when you see a blank sheet of paper turn into something, I think they go, I can see it now. That's awesome. I just think I haven't done the best drawing yet that I wanted to do. I got a long way to go as an artist. I always want to be better, so I'm always pushing myself to be better than I was the day before. So I think that's the journey for me. So it's really in the end, what it's really all about is your journey, your talent, and the voice you listen to the loudest should be your own. So the biggest part of all of us, the hardest part, is to listen to yourself and just draw and draw. Whatever it is you choose to draw. Immerse yourself into it and draw it over and over and over until you're happy. And then draw some more.